Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Nisha. Hi, Joanette. So I think that we wait for Carmen. She will moderate the session. So please stay tight. Put. Oh, Carmen is there, so I'll give her the control of the webinar meeting.
Hi, on my side.
Hi, Marja. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a long time, eh?
Yeah, quite a lot.
So Carmen, I'll name you co-host.
Hi, everyone.
So, thank you.
Hi,
Bye, Carmen. How are you?
So Carmen, I gave you the co-host privilege. I'm
Great.
muting and I'm stopping my video, so I'll let you moderate this session, right?
Great. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
We can wait a couple of more minutes to let people join, and then we can start. Okay, so maybe we can start. There's a request from Nisha at the chat. So the idea of this first, well, welcome everybody. Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you for joining. So the idea of this seminar series, we have started them last year with Nadia's presentation, but today we are kind of starting the round of seminars for this year. And one of the things that came up during last time's seminar was what's the use of these seminars. So the idea of today is actually to have an open discussion among us to see how we can take advantage of this series that were created as a request from ourselves. In the last survey, it appeared as a kind of a request or a demand for sharing our skills and learning between each other new skills to apply in our research. So as I said, the idea today is have an open discussion. So be ready to participate. Maybe we can first do a first round of presentations among ourselves, because many of us know each other, but actually I don't know most of you. So I would like to learn from you, where are you from, what are you working on, very briefly to each one of us to introduce ourselves. So I will start by myself, and then I will suggest to continue with our research skill committee, which is conformed by me, Anna, and Nadia. So I will suggest that they continue after me, and then we can do the whole round of presentations if you are okay with that. So my name is Carmen Estrades. I'm from Uruguay. I work at the university at the Department of Economics in the Universidad de la República, and I have been involved in PEP network for several years. I participated in several projects some years ago, and I mostly work with CG models applied to trade issues and also to gender issues. So that's my presentation, and I'll continue with Anna.
Hi, everyone. I'm from the University of São Paulo. I work in Brazil. I work mainly in social issues, child labor, education, social programs, and I teach applied econometrics. So it's very good to be here and to be able to discuss with you. Thank you.
So Nadia is...
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I can't put my camera on because my internet connection is not very good this morning. But very nice to meet you all. My name is Nadia Beraj-Yassin, and I work on poverty with the World Bank. My main area is poverty, inequality, and gender issues. And I use mostly applied econometrics. Thank you.
Thank you. So we can continue. I will mention your name because to make it more in order. So Dileni.
So I'm Dileni. I'm from Sri Lanka. I've been with PEP for over 10 years now. I am at the University of Peradeniya in Sri Lanka. My research has been initially at the beginning of my career, mainly in poverty and inequality, but in inequality, I started to focus on gender, and a lot of my work has been on gender wage gaps.
Thank you. Emini?
Yes, hello. I am sorry because I have a small problem with my camera, but I think that by the end I will put my picture. So I am Emini Arnaud Christian, and I am I teach at the University of Yaoundé too, and I am currently mission officer and economic advisor to the Prime Minister in Cameroon. So I am interested in the poverty, mainly for the child poverty and other socio-economic issues. And I used computable general equilibrium. Thank you.
Thanks. Fabio? You're muted. I can't hear Fabio. No, we cannot hear you, Fabio. Okay, so we continue and then with John.
Okay. I think my camera should work. You should see me.
Yes.
Good. I am John Ataguba. I'm at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. I've been with PEP for, I think, more than 15 years. My areas of research cuts across, basically applied microeconomics, looking particularly at poverty, inequality, and health. And of course, I use the microeconomics framework as well as microeconometrics for my work. I call myself a health economist. I do most of my work in health. Thanks.
Thank you. Jorge?
Hi, Carmen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yes, no, I sorted out the problem. Sorry. So I'm Fabio Veras. I'm from Brazil. I work for the Institute for Applied Economic Research from the Ministry of Economy, but most of my time is dedicated to the International Policy Center for Inclusive Growth, the IPCIG, a project with UNDP, and there I work mostly on social protection program and social protection systems and doing evaluations and policy recommendations. Thank you.
Thanks. Now, Jorge.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jorge Dávalos. I'm based in Lima, Peru. I work for Universidad del Pacífico. I've been linked to PEP since 2012, I think, probably as a resource person by mentoring research projects. My research is rather focused on applied econometrics, and for that reason, I've been working in many related economic development issues such as labor economics, migration, and poverty.
Thank you. Kibrom?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. My name is Kibrom. I'm an agricultural and development economist. I work for IFPRI, the International Food Policy Research Institute. So most of my work covers Ethiopia, Egypt, and Nigeria and Kenya. So I'm outposted in Egypt now, but I travel a lot to Ethiopia and Kenya. So I can be accessible in these areas. I do mostly, I use applied microeconometrics tools to pursue some of my research. And I'm also interested in measurement errors and measurement issues. Recently, I have been working a bit on measurement error in agricultural data in Africa. I have been working with PEP since I I think 2012 or something like that. So it had been a while since I know PEP. Thanks.
Thank you. We can continue with Lucas.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lucas Ronconi. I am a professor of economics at the Universidad de Buenos Aires in Argentina. I am, my main work is on development economics. Particularly, I'm a very policy-oriented person, and the issue of enforcement and compliance is a particular subject where I have been doing a lot of research. Thank you.
Thanks. Marcos?
Good morning with everyone. My name is Marcos Agurto. I am from Peru, from Piura specifically, in the north of the country. I am at Universidad de Piura, and I've been working with PEP for the last 3 years. Started mentoring projects in Africa, and then joined as a research fellow last year. My work is on development economics, education, social inclusion, basically, and it's great to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thanks. Marjan?
Hello, everybody. My name is Marian Petreski. I'm coming from North Macedonia in Eastern Europe. I'm a professor of economics at the University American College here in Skopje. My areas of work include labor markets, including with gender issues, as well as some topics in poverty, inequality, and social policy. I'm with PEP since 2012. Thank you.
Thanks. Mitsia?
Yes, hello. I think that's me. Let's see. All right. So good day to you guys. It's evening here in the Philippines, so it's kind of close to our bedtime. But anyway, it's great to see you all, especially those who I've worked with before: Anna, Bakar, John. Yeah, and so it's great to meet you all. So I'm from the Philippines, and I'm with the School of Economics at De La Salle University. So my line of research is more on economic development, poverty, and I do some, my recent research is on child labor and social protection. Thank you.
Thanks. And now, Nisha?
Hi, I'm Nisha Arunatilaka. I work at the Institute of Policy Studies in Sri Lanka as a research fellow, and I've been with PEP since 2005. Done a couple of projects, and I work in areas of labor, education, social protection, and health, poverty, all the social sector issues. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Ramos?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ramos Mabugu. I live in South Africa, just about 400 kilometers from where John Ataguba is currently at. I'm with a university called Sol Plaatje University, which is a new university that's been set up by the government in South Africa. I joined them 2 years ago. And prior to that, I'd spent 18 years working in government, straddling between the Ministry of Finance and the Financial and Fiscal Commission, where I was head of the research division in those government institutions. I joined PEP as a research fellow this year, but prior to that, I had done some projects with PEP, starting from the time when I was still with University of Pretoria, way back at the beginning of 2000 to 2005, when I was still at University of Pretoria. My areas of interest naturally coming from government is fiscal policy with a particular focus on applied development economics. I mainly work with applied general equilibrium models coupled with micro-simulation models and make my hands very dirty with household survey data. So I'm very happy to be amongst the PEP Research Fellows. Thank you.
Thanks. Bakar?
Yes, thank you. It's great to be here with all of you. And this is Vakar. I'm a former civil servant in Pakistan. I'm currently associated with Sustainable Development Policy Institute as Joint Executive Director. And of course, my areas of interest are international trade and public finance. And we've been using linked CGE and microsimulation models for our work. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you. Werner?
Hello, my name is Werner Hernani. I am from Bolivia, where I work for almost 12 years. I am currently at the World Bank in Washington. I am a development microeconomist. Right now I'm working in issues related to applications to machine learning to individualize social policy and conflict analysis with behavioral models.
Thanks. And I think we have one person left. Del?
Oh, okay. I'd like to
Junet.
volunteer also myself. Okay, thank you. Yeah, yeah, it's just fitting because I'm the least among all of you. I'm not an economist. I'm an accountant by profession. My field is more into business, and I'm really I work in. I teach in De La Salle University. I teach finance under the College of Business. My research interests are more into enterprise risk management. I'm very glad that I'm part of a team now in research where Lucas is our team leader together with Misha and John. So I'm really happy to be part of this group. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry?
Yes.
Del. I am Mohamed Ayadi from University of Tunis. Sorry with the problem because I have a problem with the camera. Good evening for everybody. I'm from University of Tunis. My area of interest are inequality, poverty, and welfare analysis. And the 5 last years, I do works in education. My specialty is applied econometrics. Thank you.
Thanks. So I think, yeah, that's it. That's all of us for the moment. Thank you, everybody. So it's pretty clear that we have quite different backgrounds. I mean, there's, of course, common interest, but we come from different backgrounds and we focus on different topics. So, so I think it's worth having this conversation to see how we can best take advantage of this seminar series. We have already the whole set of webinars planned for this first semester. Until April, we will have around, I think it's around 8 seminars. It's gonna be twice a week, every 2 weeks, I'm sorry. And they're gonna usually take place on Fridays, but of course, that's something we can discuss. And the time we have decided also to try to accommodate all time zones in the world because we come from different areas. So, but we can also, we're open to discuss about that. But I think that today the most interesting conversation is going to take place around so how we can better take advantage of these seminars. So I think if any of you have something to say, I mean, we have already had an experience last year, so maybe you can start by I don't know, like reflecting on how was that experience and what could have been done differently to make it better or to help you more with the skills that were presented in the seminar. So Lucas, you can raise your hand like that in the video, or you can raise virtually your hand. I will be checking the participant list. So
Yes,
Lucas.
hello everybody. Thank you, Carmen, and thank you, Anna and Nisha for organizing this seminar. I think it is a great idea. So the fundamental question is, well, what is the objective of the PEP web seminar? So one objective could be to help us advance in our careers. So in that sense, because mainstream economics, you get good returns if you learn a lot of methodologies and complex, statistically sophisticated methodologies. We might want to spend time trying to learn how to better run a randomized control trial and things like that, how to better estimate the causal effect, how to deal with standard errors in very sophisticated ways, and so on and so forth. Now, a very different thing for me is if the objective of this seminar is try to have a better understanding of what's going on in the developing world. Because I do believe that the tools, I got my PhD in Berkeley, so I am familiar with the tools, with the tools that we learn in economics in the North, and are very useful, but they only provide part of the skills that we need to understand what's going on in the developing world. So in my opinion, what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is that perhaps we will want to have a mix between learning some tools that help us publishing in well-known journals and advancing in our careers. And in that sense, some of the presentations will be how to better conduct a randomized control trial and so on and so forth. But part, I will argue that we should allocate part of the time to have a little bit more of a more radical perspective towards mainstream economics and discuss some of the assumptions, discuss some topics, try to discuss some questions that because you are not able to run a randomized control trial, those questions are not even asked, and they are very important questions, usually where the unit of analysis is a country. So again, just trying to summing up, so I give the mic to someone else. What I'm trying to say is that we should, in my opinion, we should try to have a balance between technical skills that are useful to publish in an academic journal and other broader skills, local knowledge, analytical narratives that will give us a better understanding of what's really going on in the developing world.
Thank you. That's a very interesting point, and I think we can continue to discuss on that. Of course, I'm gonna give the word to Bernard now, but just to say something to have in mind that this is voluntary. This has been voluntary. The research fellows have volunteered to present. So, and as I said, they have already been organized for this semester. So for those that are going to present, then it would be good to keep in mind all the suggestions and recommendations that are coming up today. So Bernard, and then Kibram, and then Jorge.
I just want to agree with Lucas. I think we have to think also on the comparative advantage of this group related to other groups or other available online tools. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can learn a lot about like technical methodologies and stuff, but there are so many places where you can learn that I think the most important or the comparative advantage of this group is to learn what is happening in everybody's region. And complementing what Lucas was saying, I think it would be very interesting to learn about each other, what is happening with each other, to try to get money for research. What I mean is our focus should be to try to identify areas where research is needed and where funding can be made available using PEP. So I totally agree with Lucas. I think we have to learn about what is happening on development and also with an eye on funding.
Thank you. Gibram, Jorge.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I think I would like to emphasize and highlight emphasize what I think the former speakers said. I think I agree that we would want to have a combination of both, for instance, presentations or learnings on skills, as well as learnings and presentations on other issues, including research, some research findings from our tables. And I mean, because I think what I believe is having a research, some methodological skill is not sufficient to achieve what we are aiming to achieve. So I think let's have a combination of both skill focused presentations and experience sharing, while and also more practical actual research and paper presentations, especially papers and projects which are aiming, which we can think of are in the research frontier in each area. And I think certainly, I think it's also good to think about this group as a source of networking and source of future collaborations among us. So I think having that type of discussion is also important, like because I think we are from different regions and we have got different sorts of experience and knowledge about different regions. So I mean, let's use the platform as a source of networking for other collaborations and opportunities. Thanks.
Thank you. Jorge?
Yes, thank you very much. I agree with my colleagues. I also think that we can get nice alternative sources to gather or to build skills on technical methods. Most importantly, many good journals prize parsimony in the presentation of the empirical methods. What they want to say is that many times the most complex and sophisticated methods are not necessarily going to increase your chances, but they are going to decrease your chances, since parsimony is quite important. Many editors are reluctant, are risk averse to methods that have not widely published, right? I may be completely wrong. This strategy of putting forward or pushing forward advanced methods may pay off very well for some researchers. I may be really wrong, but I think that parsimony is quite important. My main background is economics, but my master and PhD are in applied econometrics. So I had that feeling that maybe 90% of the methods I somehow can apply do not really pay off in terms of research or in terms of publication. But again, I might be really wrong. And as Bernard said, and Nisha said, networking could be a better resource for us. For instance, we could try to present, I mean, I'm speculating, and we may try to present our own research, the papers that we are struggling to publish, in order to get feedback from ourselves, right? And eventually push some collaborations between us in order to increase our publication chances. Thanks.
Thank you. Anna wanted to.
Yes, thank you. Well, in practical terms, we don't have a lot of time in those seminars to teach a method. So I don't think this is possible, really. We could, if there is interest, we could set like a small course and for a specific topic. So let's say there are 6 people that want to learn microsimulation. So we then find people that know a lot about the topic and we can set a course. But at this moment, what we would like, I think the main goal is that first, we can know each other better and we can know what the other is doing in terms of research, because I personally don't know very well what each one of you are doing. And I think this is important for the network, as many of you said, and for to set a project together. So we can see that there are people knowing similar topics that we have an interest, and then we can contact those people and do something together, have a project together and try fundings. This is very important as well, as Werner said. So it's a question of trying to use our time the best possible way. And I think the best way is to show what we are good about, what is our expertise to all of the group, and try to get together and do research together and discuss topics and get funding. Thank you.
Thanks. Nisha?
Thank you, Carmen. Just listening to you, I think I look at this from a different perspective, because a lot of you are in the academia, whereas I come in a policy research institute. So what we give a lot of emphasis is to influence policy. So we do a lot of dissemination, because I think a lot of you do good research, but you don't, other than even if you publish it in a journal, a lot of people don't know about this research. This is also why, as you know, I've been writing to you about this Twitter chat on the 24th. We thought of having these kind of new social media platforms to try to disseminate the work that you have already done. So one thing is doing good quality research, but another thing is making your voice heard in the research community. And I feel Twitter is a very good platform to do that. So I was just, when I was organizing this, I think some of us don't really have all the skills to be engaged fully in these kind of different platforms. So in terms of skills, I would like to see some of these kind of dissemination skills also being taught at some of these seminars, one thing. And also I think we can use these things like Twitter chat to collaborate and maybe jointly disseminate our work, so that we can learn, because the thing is this course, these seminars are happening once in 2 weeks, and that's a long time. And a lot of people don't have the time to allocate 1 hour to it, so you might have not everybody coming. But something like Twitter, you can join any time of the day and whenever you are free. And you can use it to link your research, even have videos. So really, I think that is a better platform to get to know each other, and then maybe some things might come from those chats, which we can discuss in a more, in a seminar like this. So yeah, that's my comment.
Thank you. Bakar?
Yes, thank you very much. And I think I'll take lead from what Nisha said. I believe that this has been a weakness of PEP as a community, that we haven't been able to look outside our own silos, our own specializations, and really not working towards areas which were of more immediate concern to our governments and to our donors. And our lens has been or remains myopic even as we pass through this pandemic time, And one of the things that I've been saying for long is that PEP's research would be much more respected if it responds to sort of more immediate needs. Number one, it responds to the global systemic changes. And if, for example, forums such as these, if out of these forums, out of these meetings, if we can collectively come up with proceedings and recommendations for high-level forums, for things like UN High-Level Forum, UN Eminent Persons Group, even if those proceedings are brief, even if those recommendations are brief, at least things start to get noticed over there. And one of the reasons I say so is because as we speak, there has never been a time before when all national governments or donors were in search of one policy answer, which is to find medical solutions, which is to work on the economics of vaccine. And no matter what my specialization is, it would be good to have a collective view, even if just to sort of come together in a webinar space or in a roundtable space and work on it collectively, and just even offering qualitative thoughts as community of social scientists, which can then be taken forward. So in a sense, the fact that PEP has been missing from the rapid research space, from the rapid advocacy space, I think that's the void that we need to fill in here. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeanette?
Yes, good evening. So I'm taking from a reference point of view of sustaining the RF strategy. So if you notice, John created 7 committees, part of the RF strategy. So I'd like the group to consider that at some point, each of the committee should be presenting a particular topic that is related to their committee, or it can be something that is not related to the committee, but is something that can help all of us, especially in terms of our improvement, our development, or continuous improvement as a researcher or a fellow. Now, taking from me, for example, I'm part of the funding committee. I was actually planning of conducting as well, and I need to discuss this with the team, of having a seminar series. But since there is already a planned seminar series, I was looking at very specific topics that we are not knowledgeable, because that will actually maximize the time. If we will be talking about topics which we are familiar, it may not be adding value to each of us, although I know each of us have different expertise. But the good point, Carmen, that I'd like to suggest is perhaps you can have a on what are things we need to know. Because I see at some point, if you will just be reiterating what each of you are already an expert of, there will be no maximum, which I know you know very well as an economist. There might be, we're not maximizing the time that we are together. So question number one, are we opening possibilities of having other speakers other than us? Because second, I'm looking at, for example, in funding, I'm looking at topics like submitting an excellent proposal or a winning proposal to get grants, no, for the funding committee, because basically I, for one, do not really know what funding agencies are looking at in terms of an excellent proposal that we can submit so that we can generate funding for our research. Also, secondly, topic selection. So we can also ask experts from funding agencies that can talk to us about these are the topics that we are looking at that perhaps you can work on. So then again, that would help us generate funding for our research. So another aspect I was bringing also to our committee is performance evaluation. Because I think John was also asking our committee, how are you, what have you done so far? Problem is, we don't have clear, at some point during last year, we don't have specific indicators that we can use and say, we're doing very well in terms of our committee because we were able to have and achieve these specific indicators that we allotted or we have set as our performance indicators. So as a recap, Carmen, one, as possible, if you can reserve a slot for each of the committees to present or to have an expert talk about a topic which may come out second from the survey that I believe, Carmen, your committee would need to ask each of one of us so that you will have an idea about the topics we are interested. Point again is number three. Again, I'd like to stress our time is very important. Each of you are very busy. So as possible, I'd like to attend a seminar that I'm not familiar, no, that I will learn, no, that will add value to the time that I'm going to spend. And third is the aspect of performance evaluation. Because John is asking, for example, my committee, and of course I was at a loss. But then again, thing is, there's no performance indicators. We don't know how we will be rated in terms of how we are doing as a committee or as a research fellow. So those are things I put on the table, Carmen, and the rest of the group.
Thank you. That were really interesting points. And I was actually going to mention that because I've seen we are asking this seminar series a lot of different objectives. And I think they were meant for one objective specifically, that is sharing our skills. And of course, the points that were raised were, I think, interesting and very relevant for our research, like networking or how to get to learn how to get the funding, etc. So, but as Junet mentioned, there are different committees meant for that, that were created for that. So maybe we can think of other ways of sharing that other type of skills. Not, I don't know, because what are research skills, right? Because research skills mean a lot of things, but for example, for the funding committee, I'm thinking that maybe we can think of other platforms or other channels or other type of things like recorded sessions or videos or something that's not seminars, because we are already planning to do these seminars every 2 weeks. And if we add another instance, for example, each committee presenting something, then maybe it would be difficult for all of us to join to these sessions. But we can think of alternative, I don't know, like
Carmen, can I add
platforms.
what you're saying. Yeah, we have many topics in that research fellow implementation plan. So we have, I will remind you, one is funding, the other is visibility, the other is networking, policy engagement, research skills, the one me and Carmi and Nadia are involved, and access to information resources. So I believe if we have a seminar for each one, we'll be crazy. Everybody's very busy. We don't have time for that. But as Nisha said, she's dealing with Twitter, which is nice. And this is her topic will be, I think, is visibility. And it's very nice to have whatever research we do, be able that everybody will be able to see the results and discuss the topics. So each group has to do something to show how can we do fundings. And then I don't know how this group will deal with fundings. And it will be very hard to put everything together in our research skill group now. We decided to do seminars. Of course, we are open to discussions and to change how we are going to do this. But at this moment, I think the main idea of the seminar is to show our skills and to know each other better. And this means methodology and topics and policy, whatever is in that seminar. So it's something we are not going to talk about funding in the seminar. Probably we're not going to talk much about policies unless whatever we are studying resulted in an important policy. But we have groups specific for that. And this, I think, is very important. Each one will have to try to do the best they can. You guys can to find a way to improve fundings, to improve dissemination, to improve visibility, to improve networking. Thank you.
Okay, so as a short follow-up, that also not in case if you will have also a seminar or a talk about funding, we can have a Zoom meeting like what you're doing with seminar series as well, but it would be under the Committee of Funding. Right, Anna? Am I taking it correctly?
Sure, we can do that. Once in a while, we have this group and invite people from outside, as you mentioned, because some people that fund different topics, probably they don't know about us much and we don't know about them. And this is a good marriage that we need them to get funding. Sure,
Okay,
thank you, Renate. Thank you.
So any other thoughts, Lucas?
Yes, perhaps following what Anna said, perhaps what we should do is what you are suggesting, except that we might want to add 1 or 2 minutes in our presentation of our work, a little bit of a discussion about if we got funding or not, and which agencies we try to get funding, a few minutes about that. And then at the end of our presentation, devote a few minutes to talk about whether our research had any impact on policy, whether we tried to do it or not, which are the political economy reasons why our research is not having any impact on the well-being of people, and so on. So again, this is a suggestion about trying to find a middle way where we somehow, while we keep the PEP seminar mainly to present our own research, at the same time, we devote a little bit of time to talk about funding and a little bit of time to talk about potential policy impacts and so on. So, and I think that would be particularly useful. Again, going back to what Werner said, our comparative advantage is not on using the cutting edge methodology. there are people who work in northern universities who will always be better at that because of the time they have and for many reasons. However, they know less about the challenges to do research in the developing world and the funding. They do little about the political economy to convert research into actual policies that improve the quality of life of our citizens. And in that aspect, we do have a comparative advantage. I like what Werner says, just repeating that. So thanks.
Thanks. I think that's a good idea to provide some type of background in each of our presentations of our research, and not only the research in itself and the skills that we want to present, but also funding and dissemination and with whom we are working in this type of things. I think that's a very good idea. Any other, Jeanette, do you want to say something? I see you.
I'm saying I agree. I think that's a good way to handle what I'm suggesting, what Lucas has suggested. Thank you.
Thanks. So anybody else? There's some people that haven't participated, and I don't know, maybe it's a good time to, yes, Christian.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say that I am very happy with this meeting, because now it is very clear the objectives we are pursuing through these webinars. So it's more clear now, and I think that contributions from each other, mainly from Anna, now we know what we have to do to share some points of view concerning our own works, and so that I think that, excuse me, because somebody came to my my office. So I just wanted to stress that now it is very clear, and I think that I am going to participate in one of these webinars. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so we really encourage you to participate in our series of seminars, even though you might think that maybe the topic is not entirely related to your own work, but I think it's a good instance to better know each other, to exchange more, and with these suggestions that Luca mentioned, maybe also indirectly or somehow help you with your own work. So we really encourage you to participate. Next week, we have the first seminar of the year. It's Marianne is gonna present, I don't remember the title, but it's repeated imputations to deal with selectivity bias when the number of missing observations is very high. So we really encourage you to participate, and any other suggestion, recommendation, or ideas you can share with us, with Anna, with Nadia, with me. And we really encourage the rest of the committees to more actively maybe share also their knowledge and their skills and look for alternative ways to communicate with each other and to keep this network strong and active. So
thank you, Carmen. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
all of you.
Carmen. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.